These 100 days are crazy. I have never been this lucky in Minecraft. Going into this 100 days, I had two things I wanted to do. Get full netherite gear and kill the wither. I didn't want to fight the dragon because finding the stronghold in a cave is really difficult, and not only that, but everyone kills the dragon within the first 100 days. So I thought, why not spice it up a little bit and kill the wither? So if you do want a 200 days where I kill the dragon in that, then get this video to 1,000 likes. It's a ridiculously high goal, but if you want another 100 days, then make sure to like the video. Also, subscribe. That'd be great. Anyway, enjoy the video. Day 1. So seeing that I spawned right next to a nether portal was perfect. I got a nice sharpness axe and got to killing and gathering dirt straight away. I knew I needed a mine shaft, so I headed straight into the caves and, well, I found diamonds. Several. I even had to mine stone with my hands, thinking I was going to find a mine shaft. And after leaving that cave, there was one right in front of me. So I went straight to getting wood. This is one of the luckiest starts I've ever had in a cave world. I made myself some tools and started collecting some stone and carving out a shelter. We need that with how many mobs spawn in these caves. And once we managed to get it all carved out and looking as nice as I could get a day 1 shelter, I quit for the day. Day 2, I started off by collecting some more wood from the weird mineshaft I stumbled across. I got some coal too, so I could eventually smelt things, and made myself a fishing rod so I can get a consistent income of food. And then proceeded to fish for the rest of the day as a nice relaxing start to these crazy 100 days. Days 3 through 10, I went exploring. I found this huge ravine that had an entrance to a Minecrafting shack. So by instinct, I jumped down and narrowly avoided death at the bottom because I knew there'd be some good loot to find. And I was right. I found diamonds, so I smelted my iron, waited for a little too long, made myself a pickaxe and started mining away. I found more diamonds not even 10 blocks away. Got gold too, so I could eventually trade in the nether. And I found a skeleton. This fight terrified me. He took me down to a heart and a half. So I cowered in a corner after eating rotten flesh to regain a little health. And I went back to my furnace, grabbed the smelted iron, made an axe, and packed up to go deeper. I then found a cave spider spawner, broke it, and noped out of there pretty quick. I found more diamonds over a lava pit, so I bridged over to mine it. I got baited though, because it was only 1 block. And I found even more diamonds. I could not believe my luck. Fuck. How many diamonds are there? Jesus. And the luck didn't stop. I found even more and grabbed more iron and wood. I found a spider dungeon and destroyed the spawner. I do not want a spider grinder. I hate. In the chest, I found a music disc and a power 3 book. Honestly, I do not understand my diamond luck. I then found this really weird glitched water, and I realized it was in the same area that my home was in. So obviously, I used it to get back and start smelting. Day 11, all I really did was dig out a little more room for the house and expand a little bit out the back. I decided at this point that it would be a perfect place for the Cobblestone Empire. So I collected things from the furnace and decided to make myself an anvil. Found a power 3 book, so I definitely needed one. And then I just finished for the rest of the day. Day 12, I started crafting some armor. I knew I'd need this to survive the mobs. And I made myself a jukebox for my disc, placed it out front, and thought I'd fish with some music. After fishing for a while, I realized how awful the disc was and logged out for the day. Day 13, I spent gathering a lot of dirt so I could expand the front of my house into what would be the future farm. Wheat, potatoes, carrots, who knew at this point? But it was there just in case. I then made some chests and continued to expand the house little by little. And not only that, but I finally had somewhere to store all my items. 13 days in. Days 14 to 16, I went out adventuring again. But this time to also collect some seeds from the tall grass that had spawned. I then got into a little kerfuffle with a zombie who just so happened to drop a potato. Just what I needed for the farm. I went back and started lighting it all up so that I could hoe the land and finally start planting my seeds and potato. And melon seeds that I got from the mineshaft. I then bone mealed the potatoes so I could harvest them faster to plant more. I did this again until I had one side full of crops and the other was almost full too. I was a farmer now. Days 17 to 18, I set out on an adventure. One of the things I wanted was an enchanting table, and to get that, I needed sugarcane. After a while of searching, I started going back and found what I thought was one piece on the edge of the water. It wasn't. It was 4 blocks high. So after grabbing all 4 pieces, I headed back, I wanted to make a farm eventually, so I placed one down and turned the rest into paper. I used one of the leather that I found from fishing to make a book, and fished for a little while in hopes of some good drops. And I got literally 3. Don't know if you can get a trident in a cave world, so I just expanded the house a little and forgot about it. Days 19 to 25, I head out once more. But this time, I went to get obsidian. That's right, we're making an enchanting table. I obviously got enough for a portal too. I was down there for a while. Whilst I was mining, I had a close call with lava, so obviously I put myself out and mined in the same spot until it was no longer safe. I did get scared and move somewhere safer. I found more diamonds too, which is always nice, and I decided then, with more diamonds, to head back up and log out. I was down there for a long time, just getting lost in a mineshaft. Days 26 to 29, I made my enchanting table and then AFK'd for 2 entire in-game days. After getting back, I placed the enchanting table and head out on another adventure. I found a sheep. He definitely was not supposed to spawn here, so I made the choice of killing him. Surely no more sheep would spawn. And then I collected some dirt and head into the mines. I was going to need a lot of gold for trading with piglins. In the process of doing all of this, I got hopelessly lost and was on the verge of death. Thankfully, I got home safe. Days 30 to 31, I tried fishing some more for a little more food and also to try get more books for enchanting. I then started mining out an area for my portal, built my portal and lit it with a fire charger found in the portal ruins chest. I went through the portal to see what I was getting myself into, and well, I saw a bastion. I set a waypoint using Lunar Client, shout out to them, and I found a fortress just on the other side through a hole. It was so close to the portal I was shocked. I decided I would tackle that another time and headed back through. I did a little more farming and lit up so I could actually plant things. Not being able to would be a struggle. Days 32 to 38, I headed to the stone patch across from my little house to collect as much cobble and iron as possible, because these days were the start of building the Cobblestone Empire. I'm not a good builder at all, so this took so much longer than it should have, but expanding the house felt was something that was long overdue and I definitely needed. I also want to take this time to say, if you're this far into the video and you're enjoying what you see, subscribe. You're epic. I wanted to make the Cobblestone Empire look as epic as I possibly could. Again, this is only the start of it. Windows are also an issue because there's no sand anywhere, so for the time being I stuck with some holes in the walls and headed back to collect some wood from the mineshaft. Pesky skeleton. And then I replaced the floor with cobble and added some chests so I had more room to place all my items, and also with so many mobs dropping in, I realized that a roof may be needed eventually. Day 39, I made a sword to get as much string as I could find from the cobwebs around. And I went back into the mineshaft getting completely lost while looking for it. So I headed back, killed a child, and finally made myself a bed. Who knew you could get a good night's sleep in a cave? Days 40 to 46. I made myself some gold boots because it was time to tackle the Nether. I wanted to start brewing things, so I bridged myself over to the fortress. I've never been so scared of losing a world, so I bridged 2 blocks wide. I know, I'm a coward, you don't need to tell me. I wanted to get potions and be able to brew them, so this was my mission to get blaze rod. As I got into the fortress, I was instantly hit by a wither skeleton and a blaze. So I noped out of there. As I was going back, a ghast wanted a piece of me, so I hit the fireball back, and I swear I should not have hit it. I made myself a path over to where some piglins were, so I'd actually be able to trade, and once I got there, I started trading every piece of gold I had. And I did that for a while to try and get a fire res pot to help me with collecting blaze rods. Once again, I'm a coward, I know, but this is what you gotta do sometimes. This time, I was not going in as recklessly, and I made myself a much safer entrance. With this, I'd be able to kill wither skeletons through the hole at the side, and they wouldn't be able to hit back. Easy. I drank my potion and headed in to find a blaze spawner. I think I drank it a little too early looking back at this, but hey, we all make mistakes. Because I was in a soul sand valley, there were so many mobs. I just started killing them all around me instead of going straight to a spawner. I had to box myself in from wither skeletons just so I could eat some food and regain a little health. I don't know how many times I've almost died in this world, but for me right now it's too many to count. I dug my way out and started running. All I needed was blaze rods, so I had to stop getting distracted. I realized from all the blazes I killed, I had more than likely gotten enough blaze rods, so I started heading back home. It was a treacherous journey with skeletons and fire and again narrowly avoiding death, but once I got home, I realized that I was missing something. Oh fuck, you know what I just realized I need?
What?
Nether warts. Days 47 to 56, I decided to build a really scuffed staircase through to my nether portal to have easier access to and from. I also saw this pigman, so I dropped him through the dirt and let him drown. I also realized my shield broke, so I decided to go and craft a new one before I headed back into the nether. I killed the skeletons that I left beforehand and started my journey back to the fortress. So this guy just vibing here, so I killed him. I went back in and started killing wither skeletons, blazes, and magma slimes. All of these drops useful things for what I was doing, and so killing them definitely had benefits. Magma cream is great for fire res potions, so that'll help for getting blaze rods. The slaughter continued for a while longer, and I made some head gaps so wither skeletons couldn't get through. And I got an incredible drop. I just got a wither skull. Wither skeleton skull. What the fuck? The luck I've been getting in this 100 days. I then headed to a ruined portal to get the loot and gold, and then delved deeper into the fortress to find myself some nether. I got another blaze rod, and then got set on fire. So I noped out of there, and head over to the piglins to start trading. I killed another magma cube, and the drops for these mobs are busted. They rarely drop anything. Like, the whole family was ended for nothing to be dropped. Imagine that. No drops at all. So I head back home with all the nice loot I got from the trades in the fortress, and I made a little netherwart farm right at the back of the empire and planted away. I then got to brewing my potions because I definitely needed them with how much I've almost died. And I head back to the nether for glowstone for the potion. I made a shelf to display my first wither skeleton skull and made my first fire resistance potions. I added some redstone to make them last longer and went fishing to finish the day. Days 57 to 60, I decided to make a mine. I wanted more diamonds so I could officially be stacked. I dropped into a cave and saw some endermen, so I decided to end both those men. Laugh. Please. I then went down to Y11 in hopes of getting more diamonds, and I mined for days. After a pretty unsuccessful trip, I decided that I'd head back up and do some farming and make some diamond gear. I look great. Days 61-64, I set out on another adventure to get gold. I needed glass bottles so that I could do more brewing, and the only way you can get them in a cave-only world is by trading with piglins. So this was going to be a long journey. Saw an enderman while adventuring, and when I went to kill it, I fell in a huge ravine, and once again narrowly avoided death at the bottom. But somehow, history repeats itself, and there was an entrance to a mine shaft at the bottom. So I went in and instantly started looking for gold. Not only did I find plenty of gold, but I found more diamonds too, which was super useful. I found a gapple in a minecart chest that was covering even more diamonds. The luck I had in this world was crazy. I found so many diamonds on this trip. I mined a little hole where some lava was and ended up finding another mob spawner. It was very broken up and ended up being a zombie spawner, so this could potentially be useful in the future. The chest had an efficiency 3 buck in there too, which will definitely come in handy. Found more gold and stumbled across some particles in the roof I could mine for a way out. Decided it was time to head back, and well, as for every couple days in this video, I narrowly avoided my instant demise yet again. I accidentally looked at an enderman trying to get onto the island too, so I had to take him out before by getting into the water. He did drop a pearl, and that's always useful. I head home and made myself missing pieces of diamond armor that I needed and a brand new axe. Fair to say, I was looking pretty dripped out. I then had to add efficiency 3 to my pick too. We didn't have enough bookshelves for that on the enchanting table. Days 65 to 69, nice. I went out to do some farming, so I had more food, and I started smelting some of the things that I found. I AFK'd for a while, I don't know why. I think I had a bathroom break for a while, or ate dinner, can't remember which. All the same if you ask me. When I got back, I thought it was time to add a roof to the Cobblestone Empire, so I started excavating. This process is something that always takes me so much longer than it should, for the plain fact that, well, I'm a horrendous builder. It's not something I do much in Minecraft, so something that would take a decent builder 10 minutes would take me hours. I wanted to give the Empire horns, make it look real intimidating, you know? But I'm never happy with anything I build, so I added some stairs to add some sort of edge to it. After I was somewhat happy with how they looked, I decided on an archway roof, because, I don't know, they look cool. When I hopped down to see how it looked, I was a little skewed, you could say. So I fixed it up and added more stairs. I can never get enough stairs. They make everything look better. I literally add them everywhere in builds, like, all the time. They're just satisfying blocks to look at, and they can be used for so much, you know? After adding the last stairs, I looked at it from the front, and it was finally starting to look cool. It's exactly what I wanted. So I started adding the top to it because mobs falling in is always an issue. I needed to stop them dropping in on me. I got to a point where I mined out the entire area the roof would be just to make it even. I mined out the entire backboard of the Empire 2 and replaced it with stone bricks to add a texture other than cobble. I like my old school builds, but cobble can still get a little too much even for me. I made sure that I placed all the torches on cobble though because it fits the theme. Once again, I added stairs everywhere. I love those damn blocks. And with that, the Cobblestone Empire was officially built. Look how cool this looks. I did, however, have an issue with mobs spawning in the Empire, so I had to kill them and replace some blocks in the floor with glowstone. This is one of the issues with using Fulbright. And with all of that done, I wrapped up for the night with a full built Empire. Days 70 to 71, I used all the string I found to make some wool for beds. It was about time that we went mining for netherite. Deborah's been waiting at the bottom of the nether for so long she's now ancient, so I thought now would be a good time to go and collect some. So I head in, found a place to start a netherite mine and started mining through, finding some debris pretty much instantly too. I got really lucky and in only a couple of beds ended up finding 5 debris. So I made my way back, smelted the debris into scraps, made my netherite and smithing table, and turned my diamond pickaxe into a netherite one. And then I added even more stairs to the roof, because there definitely wasn't enough already. Day 72, I got more string to make beds for blast mining, which took me a fair while. I went straight back to the nether for more debris, but this time I had absolutely no luck whilst I was in there. So I went back to the overworld grabbing some brown mushrooms on my way out. Days 73 to 77, I spent some time making a mini sugarcane farm out in the water to make farming it for paper that little bit easier. I then made a fermented spider eye thinking I'd eventually make a weakness potion for a zombie villager, but man, how wrong I was. I trekked back through the nether to the fortress to try and farm some more blaze rods and managed to get a second wither skull. I have barely killed any skeletons and I already have 2. My luck is ridiculous and this is before I even started farming for them. I head over to the blaze spawner after popping a fire res potion and excavated the room it was in. Doing this would make them spawn more, so I'd be able to get more rods. I farmed them for a while and head back with 28 rods. I made myself a second shelf for the new skull and started brewing awkward potions to add things to later. I then grabbed some gold and went back through my portal to try and get even more bottles. Killed a ghast and managed to get a tier so I could now make regen potions. I traded every piece of gold I had and still got nothing of use. Trading in 1.16.5 is awful. I went back to base and brewed my regen potions and used glowstone to turn them into regen 2 pots. Then I chested them until my big day. Days 78 to 80, otherwise known in this world as National Farming Days, I did some potato farming and AFK'd staring at my sugarcane, hoping for it to grow. I decided to add some lights and make it a semi-automatic farm. I made observers and realized quickly I needed more redstone. So I went into the mine shaft and mined more redstone than I would ever need. I came home and made some pistons. I built the framework for my farm and tried to figure out how the hell you place observers for a solid 30 minutes. I literally placed it perfectly and then broke it again thinking I did something wrong. But I managed to figure out how to do it and slowly progressed along. I gathered some more dirt to make a very off-center walkway leading to it because who wants to swim to their farm? I know I don't. I even tried to make the land look better, but honestly I think I made it worse. Reminder here, I did say I was bad at building. Days 81 to 84, heading over to the Bastion was the first thing on my mind. I needed those gold blocks more than they did, so it was definitely time to start grabbing them. I don't know what it is with me and really stupid, precarious bridges at this video, but I seem to love them. I also ran out of blocks, so I grabbed a couple of the stems to make my way across to the Bastion. I'm so glad that nether woods don't burn. It makes it so much easier to get blocks while you're in. Thankfully, I knew where all the gold was in this type of Bastion. I don't know the name of the type, so don't quiz me on that. But I managed to get a healthy 8 blocks of gold out of the entire thing. All of this was going on bartering with the piglins because, man, I was tired of not getting potions or bottles of water. So at this point, I needed every bit of gold I could get my hands on. I traded the entire stack and a bit of gold that I had to a piglin. He only gave me 1 bottle. So I killed him and moved on. I made my weakness potion, turned it into a splash. You never know when a zombie villager might show up. And I kept that in my inventory longer than I should. Day 85, I went out traveling again. This time, I found a friend. You know how earlier I said no more sheep would spawn? Well, there was another. I went back into the caves for a while and got nothing. So I head back, found a chicken. Don't know why these things are spawning, but they definitely should not have been. Kept a mental note of where they were, and I head home. Days 86 to 87, I was running low on wood, so I had to go and restock from the mineshaft. I'm always forgetting how scarce it is in this type of world. When I was coming back out, I decided on going back to the Nether to find more netherite. And the more I mined, the more I felt like my luck was wearing off these 100 days. I was struggling real hard to find any, and I needed at least 20 to finish off my tools. So I head back with a heavy heart to collect more string, just to go back and try find some more. And after going back and using the beds I had, I still found 0 debris. On my way back to the surface, I made a crucial mistake. I tried to shoot an arrow at a magma slime, and I missed. I hit a zombie piglin. You hit one of these guys, the whole squad's after you. So I towered up and instantly relogged, hoping the aggro would disappear. And well, it didn't. And the worst thing happened. Whilst I was towering, a ghast spawned. I don't know what happened here, but I fell off the tower into the group of piglins, and my heart dropped as fast as I did. They brought me down to 3 hearts, but I managed to get away. I towered up again and relogged a second time to see if it would have any effect. Still nothing. So I killed all of them and head to the overworld to relog a 3rd time to ensure I would not be aggroed by them again, stepping back into the Nether. Days 88 to 90, started out farming sugarcane. I wanted bookshelves for the enchanting table, and with my farm bigger now, it was way easier to do. I then decided that I'd bring home the sheep from across the pond, so I grabbed some wheat and spent some time trying to guide him into my boat. As reluctant as he was, we now had a friend. His name? Orphan. I quickly realized that I needed a wall around my entire base if I wanted to keep him here, because he was very quick to try swimming away, and I was not allowing that. And because of the lack of wood, I used the blocks I liked the least for the wall. I made some diorite and andesite slabs to stop Orphan from escaping. This wall may be super ugly, but it's really practical, and now we had a friend to stay. He did like my door a little too much though. I shared him a lot, and made some beds from his wool, and decided to shoot my shot with blast mining again, which once again, no avail. Heading back with empty hands. And I used the name tag that I found in a mineshaft chest to give Orphan his name. I didn't want him to despawn because he was a member of the team now, as annoying as he was. I managed to make more bookshelves and then head back into the mineshaft so I could get more wood for beds. Shearing Orphan made this process so much easier. For once, I wasn't leaving empty-handed. I found some more debris. I instantly mined it, brought it home, and made another netherite ingot. It was time for an upgrade on the chestplate. And I'll be honest, this fills the texture pack makes netherite look real nice. Look how cool I look now. Day 91. We're in the final 10 days, and I still needed one more wither skeleton skull. So it was time to go back to the fortress. When I got there, I was instantly greeted by 4 nice gentlemen who did not give me what I needed. So I started going through, ruthlessly trying to behead each wither skeleton I came across until this happened. Oh, I got it. I made myself a safe way out and killed 2 more on the way out. I just got another. Lucky, I know, right? Wither skeleton, you've killed 54 wither skeletons. I have 4 skulls. I'm about to make a skeleton kill himself. Days 92 to 94, as you heard, I made a skeleton shoot himself and head into the mineshaft. I was on a gold hunt because I wanted bottles. I found this zombie villager too, but he fell into the water, so I found another dungeon that had a god apple and a gapple in the same chest. This was perfect because it wasn't long until we were fighting the wither. Honestly, I got so much gold and broke so many spawners on this trip. Cave spiders scare me though. Those things hitting with poison will eventually be the death of me. I tried mining underneath one of the spawners and had one of them fall down with me. He was chasing me down, so I had to box myself in to make sure I didn't die. The only food I had left was gapples, and trust me, I didn't want to eat it, but it was my only option. After eating it, I made a hole and killed the spider that chased me. Managed to find exactly where the spawner was and destroyed it. Any more close calls on these 100 days and I thought I would break. I finished off the spiders one by one and gathered so much string. I was planning on mining for a while in the nether before we fought the wither. I found more diamonds and even more spawners the deeper I went into this mineshaft. It was a lot of mining on this trip. I also found a knockback 2 buck, which I thought would be handy for my axe. I mined some more and thankfully found another gapple to replace the one that I used for the spider. Like I said, I mined a lot on this trip. After I thought I had everything I needed, I head home and saw an enderman trying to box a chicken away. I made some wool from the string I had, sheared Orphan, and I added protection to my chestplate. Anvil's just so reliable. Days 95 to 99, I spent most of my time in the nether. This is ridiculously condensed down because I spent a lot of time going back and forth, making more beds, going back to the Nether for more debris, and then repairing my armor and tools to make sure that I wouldn't run out of durability too soon. After all of that, I managed to make 5 netherite ingots, enough for the rest of my armor, my axe, and a new pickaxe. I was officially stacked. I went back to the Nether to trade my last stack and a half of gold, making them a little pit so they could trade me everything they had. I needed more bottles, I wanted more potions, and they would not leave with their lives if they didn't give me what I needed. Luckily, I got a lot of bottles from these trades, but I killed them anyway, grabbed the loot that I missed, and went back to the overworld. I was brewing potions for so long. I made strength pots that last 8 minutes, even though I thought that I was making strength 2 pots. Instant health pots that I turned to splash. These would damage the wither and also heal me. I overdid it on the strength pots though, I'll be honest. I crafted myself a sign and a chest, and I placed them down with a little reminder for the next day. It's a big day. I enchanted everything the best I could, tried adding knockback to my axe. You can't. So I just named it Boba Tea instead, proceeded to name my pickaxe Chalky Milk, remove my armor, and place everything I needed in the chest, ready for the big day 100, logging off to leave everything to the next day. Day 100, after logging on, I opened the chest and equipped everything from inside. I was ready. I'd never been this ready. It was my big day. I was about to fight one of the toughest mobs in the game. I said goodbye to Orphan and head down into the mine I made near my house, all the way down to Y5. I made him a room, and here's how it went. That was so much easier than I thought it would be. Holy shit. I think I came over prepared. And that was only strength 1. I swear I had strength 2 potions somewhere. Oh my god. God, another start. I made it home, Orphan. I made it home. After doing that, I added a little more to the base, made myself an item frame, and this is where I'm going to commemorate these 100 days. We really did it. I killed the Wither in 100 days in hardcore in a cave-only world. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched this far, please make sure to subscribe. I spent a lot of time on this video, so any like or comment is super appreciated. I'm also probably going to do a tour of this world on stream. My Twitch is in the pinned comment, so hop by. 200 days at 1,000 likes.